This is wearing my ass out. Is this kind of like playing Jenga?
Sketchy would be good.
Sketchy would be really good compared to this shit. Just a lot of junk up here. A lot of stuff that needs to be fixed and taken care of. That bean's bad. Good morning. Well, it's another day on the fire station, and I'm hoping today is the last day of framing. So let's go inside and take a look here. Well, last day of framing on the first floors. So what I'm going to do today is I've only got this little section here to frame, but the problem is that's rotten and that's not phenomenal. So what I think I'm going to do is go upstairs. See, there's a whole bunch of junk up there. Clean that up, replace this through here, and then do the walls, which gives me a ton of options on the second floor. So let's head upstairs. Let's take a look around. I know that I've shown some of this before. So as you can see, just a lot of junk up here. A lot of stuff that needs to be fixed and taken care of. That beam's bad. I think I'm going to find a spot to put this down and get to work. Should be fun. Well, okay. I need a new definition of fun. Well, it's almost like some of this has been nailed up here. I don't know, maybe to give it support or something. I know that this is just coming out a few pieces at a time, but every piece that goes out of here lightens the load just a touch. And that's a win. Rat shit, mouse shit. I just almost can't even fathom how long it took to create all that waste. When I was a kid, talking like 16 to 18, or actually probably 12 to 18, 20, I ran a lawn cutting business. And we used to have custom garbage bags made. And believe it or not, there's a possibility, and I know my dad had some made, you know, after I was in college and years older, but this garbage bag could be 30, 40 years old. So it's just kind of crazy that my childhood, in a very, very strange way, is coming into play here. And the nice thing is these bags are pretty heavy duty, so they shouldn't break open, shouldn't create any problems for getting all this, literally all this crap out of here. Operation second floor cleanup, aka poop scoop, is finished. We saw the before, there's the after. Now that I've got the second floor cleaned up, what a mess that was, the next piece I've decided, and I mentioned this a little earlier, is I'm going to pull this whole top plate out. And it's basically, when I look at it, it's 12 feet from here to that post there, and then 8 feet from that post over. I'm going to, it's actually going to be a relatively big project, and I don't know how much of it I'm going to get done, but hopefully a lot. I'm going to replace this post here with a 6x6, and then I'm going to do those 2 beams on the top. Once I do those 2 beams on the top, because I've replaced the beam on the bottom, I'll be able to go in and frame in this area over here relatively quickly. But if I try to frame it before I replace the beams, this will be all up and down. So, you notice I haven't said I'm taking the floor down yet, and I don't want to take the floor down yet because I'm still getting some stability out of it. So what I'm going to end up doing is actually cutting the floor joist loose and putting some 2x material all the way across. I don't know if you can see it up here. I'll come out about 4 feet. And then I'm going to support it, and I'm going to run some jacks up and pick this whole thing up. So that allows me to work on the floor, or to, not the floor, but to replace those there. And then once I get that done, I am going to set the floor back down on it, or I think I will, just because I need the stability in the middle of the building. So from there to there, I really need that stability on this building for right now. And I'm not sure how I'm going to do that other than just pick the floor up, replace the beams, replace the walls, and then set the floor back down and make sure it's nailed on. So I think that'll work. I don't know, maybe it won't, but I'm going to find out. I'm not sure if this is going to shoot very well from kind of the dark out looking into the light, but it's about the best angle I can get right now. Bingo. God. Bingo. I'm just going to come back about 4 feet here and just run a 2x4, and then I can nail the 2x6s down this way across. I'm going to double them up to build a bit of a header. Well, I've been off camera just kind of double checking my strategy to make sure it's going to work, and I'm feeling pretty confident with it now. So I'm going to start making some chalk lines, getting the 2x4s up, and then getting started. So off we go. Oh shit. Wrong way. Whew, okay. Most definitely the definition of sketchy. Okay, one problem. It's crowned the other direction. I'm going to take another look at that. And it may just be that this whole, well, actually, if anything, so it's, it is actually bowed like this. So what I'm going to do is put one screw in here. I'm going to push this up as high as I can, take this back out, and then push the whole thing up again. And I may actually drop this down so that that is up on that end. I think that'll work. Let's find out. Okay. Not fun, not fun, not fun. Ooh. Definitely not fun. All right, let's get this one locked in. Ooh. I'm liking that. There's a fairly big belly right here in the middle. I'm sure I'm being too particular here. That this doesn't have to be this good. It's just got to be supported. Okay. I think that's good enough. How's it going, man?
Good.
I think I'm winning. I'm going to take these 8-foot 4x6s. I'm going to bolt them onto here. Start jacking this whole thing up. What do you think? I'm tired.
Yeah.
I'm just bone-ass exhausted right now. Yeah, I probably didn't need to double this up, but figured I might as well. Oh.
So it's going to be a temporary post holding that up, or what do you think?
Yeah, we're picking the whole floor up. So, yeah, the whole floor is coming up. We're doing major surgery here in a few minutes. Like blowing out the whole front of the building.
Oh.
Okay.
But you know, now you can come in here, now you can do shit. You got the walls all supported.
Yeah.
You know, now before it was just kind of getting it to a point where you can do something.
Yeah, where I didn't feel like I was going to die every time I walked in here.
Yeah, right?
Okay, so this is all rotted over here. And so that needs to be replaced.
That whole beam.
Yep. And this is kind of cracked out, not very good.
Can we keep the beam and use it for aesthetics?
Probably.
Okay.
Probably, yeah. And like this one here in the middle, see how it sags down?
Yeah, it doesn't even touch
So yeah, it's actually in good shape. It looks like ass, but I mean it looks kind of cool too. So this floor was just...
That's all hand hewn.
Yeah, that may be hand hewn. So the bottom line is, now I'm going to take these 4x4s and 4x6s and put them down here. I'm going to put jacks underneath them. And then I'm going to push the floor up.
How far?
Just a few inches, okay? Now, what I've been concerned about is, if you look up here, do you see this how this rafter here from this side of the door on both sides, they're both good and they're going up, and there are purlins going across from those good rafters that are holding things together. Now, why is all that important? Without those purlins, the weight of the roof wants to do this, and it wants to push the building out. See where I'm going with this?
Kind of. Keep going.
So, right now the building is not being pushed out in the middle, okay? Because all of these rafters are nailed off. They're nailed off in that purlin upstairs.
Okay.
You with me?
Yeah.
Okay. So now, The whole goal of this is to take all of this and cut these rafters. Now the end rafter has not been, floor joists, neither one of them are getting cut. The whole thing is to not release all of the tension off the building this way. This is getting replaced. So how do we do that? So this gets replaced. This whole beam all the way across the top gets replaced. So what we're going to do is we're going to go from here. Once we kind of figure out where the jacks go, we're going to go from here and we're going to go across. Okay? That's got to come apart. As soon as we pull this building up, see where that rafter is right there? And this rafter is right here. As soon as we raise this up, and it only has to come up like an inch, we're going to re-nail it back onto that. So that keeps this, you see where I'm going with this? Right. I don't want the front of this building to be able to push out. If it pushes out, there is so much weight on the back of this roof, it'll bring the whole thing down. Right. Well, as you just saw, I was talking about with Tom explaining what we were doing or what I wanted to do to make sure that we could pull this second floor up, and I'm up on the second floor right now, that we could pull that up safely without the building being pushed out. So what happens when you're framing a house and putting a roof on? You normally have ceiling joists, and they go from wall to wall, and that keeps the roof, which is a triangle. You can see this is a triangle here. That keeps the roof from pushing the walls out, because the triangle, the weight of the roof, wants to come down and push the walls out. Well, if you don't have a traditional flat ceiling that's holding the walls together, you need to do something. So if you've got a vaulted ceiling, like this is kind of a semi-vault, you have what are called roof ties or purlins. I believe they call them purlins. I keep calling them purlins. And that's what these things are right here. So these are purlins, and they tie the roof together. Well, my concern is that the front of this that you'll see right here, those rafters, in fact, the middle one's just gone. This is rotted really badly. The top plate on this that would keep this from pushing out is gone. This purlin is rotted off. This one is in really bad shape. This one's in okay shape here. So this one's completely rotted out. This one's in bad shape. But this one right here is in great shape. So is this. So this one's in great shape. That one's in great shape. That one's in great shape. And that's really what has kept the roof from coming down. And I say that because you'll see the, right here, you'll see the beam that comes from the floor. I don't know if you can see it down here. It comes from the main level, comes straight up, all the way up to there. And the same thing that you'll see over there. And that's, you'll see, I don't know if you can see it, but that is down on the very bottom. That's a beam we replaced. So as a result, this is all really good, and the framing on the front side is still strong. So these purlins actually are holding the roof up. That's what's kept it from falling. If these rafters, this rafter and that rafter, would have failed like these others did, then this whole front of the building would have pushed out and this roof would have come down. So everything I'm doing is to make sure that this wall doesn't get pushed out and this roof comes down. And kind of get it ready to go. I may not actually disconnect this, but I want to at least get this set up and kind of really think it through. So that's the plan.
I'm months ahead We got to keep exposure to those beams.
Yeah, and I don't know how I'm going to do all that yet. What it may end up being, this just gets all covered, the beams covered, and then we may bring in some of this cladding and redo it. I don't know. I'm not sure, and I may end up just exposing these beams, just coming up with wood.
Yeah.
I'm not sure yet, but you're right. I want to expose as much as I can.
Yeah, of the original. It gives it historic feel.
Yeah, absolutely. Even this being crappy and not working.
Yeah, use it somehow.
Yeah, and it may stay there. I may actually just, bolt it up to the floor.
It over 'cause it's,
Yeah, exactly. I mean, once I get the floor joists off. So yes, you're right. It's just, and I hate to replace this with new 6x6, but I really, really need to.
well, we can use it somewhere else.
Yes, absolutely.
Cut it up and throw it away.
Yes, it will get used somewhere else. And all of this, all of this can just come off. Okay. Look at that. Who'd have thought? Genius. All right, you want to take that one, Tom? Let's see if the other one will come out. Is this kind of like playing Jenga?
Yeah, right?
At some point in time, we're going to hit something here, and the whole thing is just going to collapse. So yeah, I'm just thinking we just, come in here. We're going to set up a base, okay? Oh, this is wearing my ass out. I'm running out of get up and go. What I'm shooting for is to have the center of this underneath the center of this. So, there you go. Or as close as we can, you know what I'm saying?
Sure.
Won't be perfect. Okay, that's good. And we can obviously move this, wherever we need to. So once it's jacked up and we have it where we want it, we're going to put 2x6s on the sides and the back and drop it down on this.
Okay.
So when the jack releases a little bit, it's sitting down on the post.
Okay.
So no, it's not going to stay on this. All this is going to be is just long enough to get it off the ground. Sketchy, huh? Sketchy would be much safer than this.
Right.
Just Sketchy.
Yeah. Sketchy would be good.
Sketchy would be really good compared to this shit. Well, yesterday I was under a bit of a time crunch because Tom had to, he had to go. He had a prior appointment. And the camera, I believe it lost some audio, and then the camera, just ran out of recording time, which is normal. So I missed the end of what we did. What we've done here from this standpoint is, and we talked about it, I believe earlier, is we've got these two posts here, which are in place with jacks underneath them so I can pick this whole floor up. I've got the cross brace that I talked about earlier that's going up above. I've got that down below. So that'll tie the wall in so that when I jack all of this up here, when I jack this up and pick the whole floor up, I can replace the wall. This post was very, very difficult to get in. I really wish we would have had it filmed, but we didn't. This took us about 30-40 minutes to get in because this was about 78.25 from bottom to top, and I needed 78.5. So we had to lift the building up, and we used that angle iron there and this post, set it in beside it, and pried it up. And it was very difficult to get in there, but we made that work. I just want to try to come in and clarify some things because I looked at some of the footage last night and it just didn't make a lot of sense. Hopefully that helps a little bit. If you've got any questions, just put them down, you know, in the comments. If you've got any comments, obviously put them down there. Hopefully you're enjoying this. If you'd hit the like and or the subscribe button, that really helps out. I'm a brand new channel, so trying to grow subscribers, and I really do appreciate you watching. And hopefully you have a magnificent day. And on the next series episode, whatever we want to call this, I'll be replacing this top plate, framing this in, and then if I've got time, I'll start the framing on the floors. That may be a different episode doing the floor framing. But until then, thank you so much for watching. Have an amazing day, and go out and try something you've never done before.